What's going on, and welcome back to another video. So first and foremost, I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July here in the US. Hopefully you guys had the day off. You're just at home chilling, hanging out with friends, family, eating good, overall just having a nice relaxing day and recouping from all your stressful days at work. But without further ado, today we are going on a cruise. If you guys remember 6 months ago, when I first bought this car, Joseph had a New Year's Day run, and today he's doing a 4th of July Day run. So I'm about to head out there, meet those guys up, do a little cruise, hang out, talk about the cars, you know, just kind of catch up overall. But other than that, I think today I'm finally going to be doing my long-term review of the car. I've had the car for 6 months now. I don't drive it as much as I probably should, or as much as anybody else on this page. I do have a daily driver that I pick my kids up in. This is basically just a weekend car, so I didn't really do this at 3 months because I didn't drive it very much. I didn't really start driving a lot till more recently. So I think at the end of the cruise, once we get to the meet, I'll do a video overall, kind of like how I did the first impressions video, but I'm going to do a overview video, tell you guys what I like, what I don't like, what I really hate, what I really love about the car, how it's been over the past 6 months, and just give you guys an overall perspective of this car. Should you guys go out and find one yourself? Should you buy it? Will the MSRP, or will it ever be MSRP? All that good stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and head out to this meet, and we'll go from there. So we are out here at the meet. A few cars showed up. We got this clean Supra here. Obviously you got my little blue Smurf right there. Then of course I am in a Supra sandwich. Very nice. Not too many people showed up. I assume it's way too early for this and 4th of July and whatnot, but you got this one right here. I contemplated getting one of these when I sold the 240 because he had it, and this is who the company that sold my 240, and they said, thought about doing like an R34 conversion on this thing, but I end up getting the Corolla. What are you gonna do? It's almost like an NSX meet. But I don't know if you guys remember, but this is Chris's NSX. He's part of the Endless Projects team that I am a part of that they really don't show anymore, but super clean. Honestly, probably one of the best NSX in Houston. So, this one was at SEMA the same year my car made it to SEMA. He got picked up by Super Street that year. I got picked up by PassMag, so it was pretty cool. That's where I basically first met him, and I didn't realize he was on the same team as me, so yeah, super cool.
That's what I'm saying. Or inside, as long as you're good on the outside, which I'm pretty sure you are, because
I have a bunch of photos on my camera.
yeah. So as long as you have TV.
Alright guys, so here's the walk around again as I review the car, some things that I like, I dislike. Now keep in mind that everything I am saying or reviewing today will be based off how the car was factory. So obviously I just recently put on all the suspension work. I just recently got it wrapped, so that has nothing to do with anything. Anything you hear me say today about the review, that is how it was factory. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the things that I really don't like, but don't really affect me in a way that it really matters 100%. So obviously let's start with the former, is the no armrest. So it's not too big of a deal of it not having an armrest. It's not deal breaker. I don't because I don't drive the car as often as probably most other people, but I do find today on the cruise to here that driving down Beltway 8 or whatever for a long period of time, it would have been nice to have an armrest right here, but overall not necessary, especially since this is mainly a track car, and an armrest just isn't necessary, and I don't really feel like spending $100-something on something that I don't truly need. Now if I drove this car a lot more, maybe that would have been a good investment, but overall not too bad. Obviously the next thing I don't like that isn't such a huge deal breaker is the piano black or the gloss black trim around the car. So obviously I have this one wrapped here and it has been like a godsend since I wrapped it. It just doesn't get as dirty as this. And it's crazy. So that and fingerprints are just like it attracts fingerprints, and if you wipe it too hard or too quick or whatever, or with the wrong rag, it leaves micro scratches on the thing. I know some people like ceramic coat it, but like it's just, why am I gonna pay my guy like $100 to ceramic coat this when I don't know. It's just like one of the things. Another thing I don't like that isn't another huge deal is the location of this IMT button. So I wish this thing was just set to auto on, because like it is like when I'm just cruising around, and I just go to downshift coming to a light or whatever, I sometimes forget I don't have it on and I don't rev match, and it just like, and then I try to reach for it and it's just like, it's not like right here where like you would think it is. You would have to like go around and then move your hand in and then click it on. But once again, not too huge of a deal. So like these are just like minor little nitpicks that I don't like about the car that maybe you guys would hate overall. Some of you guys are just like, oh, why don't you just rev match manually? It's like, why do I have to rev match manually? If you're going to give me the option for the car to do it itself, I'll just let the car do it. Like if I wanted to rev match all the time personally, I'd go and drive my Civic. So yeah, just minor little nitpicks. But the last thing I really don't like about the car, and it's just, this is obviously a personal choice, was the color black. If you guys have been following the channel for a long time, you guys know that black was not my first option. It was the only color I could get at the time that could get the car at MSRP. And don't get me wrong, black is such a clean color when it's clean. It was just it's such a high maintenance color to keep up with, and it's just like micro scratches every single time I wash the car, and it's just like, it wasn't worth the upkeep, so I just went ahead and wrapped it. Next thing about the car is the suspension. Yes, it is harsh from factory. It's like 5.5K, I think, all around, or maybe 5K up front, 5.5 in the rear. I forget what it was. But even then, for being only 5K, the car rode suspiciously stiff from factory. And I don't know, maybe it was just me driving my Corolla or my minivan around for so long that I just got used to such a smooth ride. But even then, now that I got the Fortunato's on, it's like 8K front, 11K rear. Yes, that's stiff, and when I hit a bump, trust me, I feel it. But at the same time, it's not as harsh as a ride of the Corolla. I mean, this is all a matter of opinion. Obviously, I'm getting up there in age, so my back is a little bit more sensitive to like a ride. But I don't know, in my opinion, I feel like the Fortunato's ride better than factory did. So that's crazy, right? But yeah, those are the things that really kind of bothered me about the car. Nothing too like diminishing, like, oh, you shouldn't get this car, obviously. It's just minor nitpicks about me. Obviously, the last one was the color. That's kind of my choice. Yeah, I could have held out. Maybe I could have got a different color. Obviously, I should have really held out for the 2024 model. But at the same time, the 2024 models, I believe, are coming with the front parking sensors and the rear parking sensors. Kind of like how the I believe like the Australian market does and the Japanese market, which I'm kind of glad mine doesn't have it because those things just look ugly. But yeah. What else? The car overall rides really, really good. Like, it just wants to keep pulling top end. It just wish it had. If this car would make 300 to the wheels, it would be a very, very fun car. I believe when I got it dynoed, the car made right around 260, 250 something to the wheels, right? And that's a given. It's all-wheel drive. You lose a lot of power through the drivetrain. But if this car, once a tune comes out, when it makes 300 wheel horsepower, this car will be extremely fun to drive. Obviously, I have the MST intake I still need to install. If you guys have been following my Instagram, you guys know I got that one in the mail last week. DHL kind of messed that one up, but that's going to go in, and then after that I'll go ahead and re-dyno the car, see if it makes anything. But yeah, one thing I truly love about this car on track are the brakes. These brakes are phenomenal. Now granted, I haven't tracked in this 100-degree weather, so I don't know how they'll deal with the heat, but when I was tracking out there in like 80-degree weather, the car stopped amazing, especially once I upgraded to the counter space garage pads. Those helped out tremendously. Now, what else do I love about this car? The car itself, overall, the looks. It looks amazing. I mean, you guys, I mean, a lot of people aren't a fan of hatchbacks. I know there are some people saying, why couldn't they make a sedan or whatever? Why couldn't they just make it in the Yaris? I love hatchbacks, especially the 5-door hatchbacks. It's always been my like weak spot. I've had a soft spot for these style cars for as long as I can remember. And then, obviously I had to add the wing, which made the rear end look as aggressive as the front end. And then once I added the wing, I needed to add the hood. So obviously now I basically have a 2024 Circuit Edition, especially with the forged carbon wrap. But that's neither here nor there. But overall, the factory seats on track, while the car itself, if you're just kind of like going around the track as a newbie, first time learning, or just kind of like doing it for fun, the car is really competent. It is amazing. But once you start trying to be competitive, you're trying to beat your time, you're trying to beat other people's time, the car needs a lot of work. The suspension and tires from factory can't keep up with the car. Like, it's just, I don't know why they decided to go with Pilot Sports. The least they could have done is give us the Pilot Sports 4S's, something a little bit better. But like the 320 treadwear tire for this car, while good for what it is like trying to be competitive, it is not great. So I highly recommend, if you guys are trying to be competitive with this car on the track, definitely upgrade your tires and suspension right away, because those were the first things that needed to go. And now with these, like, I've done a few back road corners and the car handles amazing, but once again, suspension work, you can't really feel the absolute difference until you're on the track. So like, as soon as it cools down, like it's like, what is it? It is 9 a.m. right now, and it is 98 degrees here in Texas. Like, it is crazy hot right now. It's like the hottest summer we've had in a long time. So I'm not going to be trekking for a while. It's just not worth it. Another thing that kind of like I don't like, but it's only happened to me once, is the rear diff overheating. I don't know what it is about the rear diff. Like, a lot of people seem to have that issue all the time. And so I've only had it happen once. I don't know how people have it constantly, but I've only had the issue once. But it was kind of annoying that it like just went into front wheel drive mode. It's not like the car goes in, I guess in a way it's kind of a limp mode, but it basically goes to front wheel drive mode only and just shuts down the rear completely, from what I understand. Another thing I don't like about the car is the back seats. There isn't much room back there, like per se, for like an adult. Like, I've sat there before. It's fine for my kids, but like when I sit back there, whenever I take the kid seats out to let some other people drive and whatever, just to see how it is, like my foot is basically, or my knees are basically into the driver's seat, and like this is how I sit. And like if I would have sat in there, it's not bad. It'll get you from A to B, but for a hatchback, I wish there was a little bit more room. Another thing is the amount of trunk space isn't that great for it being a hatch. So I tried fitting 4 wheels and tires in here, or like a set, and it wouldn't fit. Like, you can make it fit, but like it just did not go in very easily. Like, I know the Civic Type R is like, you could fit a full set of like track wheels and tires, jack stands, jack tools. Like, this one, it ain't happening. I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, I guess it is based off the Corolla platform and it wasn't meant to be a track car, but that is another downside. Upside is obviously it's all-wheel drive. This is why I chose this one over the Civic Type R. I wanted something that was all-wheel drive. I did front-wheel drive already. I didn't really feel like doing another track front-wheel drive car. I wanted to go back to all-wheel drive. I hadn't had an all-wheel drive track car since the STI. Long-time followers of the channel know that the STI was my first foray into tracking on YouTube full-time, or like, taking it more seriously. Not full-time, obviously. It's not my job, but yeah. That's my overall impression. As a daily driver, driving it around for like the past couple weeks as my daily driver since my kids are out of school now, it's okay. It is what it is. It's just another all-wheel. It's just basically like driving my Evo 8. Like, driving around town just feels like that. The way it rides, the way it like handles, the way it like has this power is so linear. It is amazing. The factory brake dust from the factory pads were horrendous. I don't know what Toyota was thinking with those pads. But the counter space garage pads, like I've been driving around for like 2 or 3 weeks on these pads. I haven't washed the wheels once, and they're not spotless. There is some brake dust, right? There's always going to be brake dust. It's just how it works. But the amount of dust these give off compared to factory is so much better. So I definitely would recommend going to like a different pad. Like the stock pads were great, but like it wasn't worth the trade-off for the brake dust. That's really it, man. I really don't have a lot of hate for this car. Like I love it so much. So I had more loves and likes, obviously, as you could tell from this video, about how the car is. So another thing I really hate about this car, and this is a definite hate, is the seatbelt chime. Oh my God, Toyota, what were you thinking? I get it. You want me to wear my seatbelt, but if I'm just moving the car in and out of my driveway, that thing does not need to be that loud. It should be you should have done the tone, because it starts off, you know, fairly quiet, but then it just really gets in your face, and it's just like, come on, Toyota. It was not necessary. Base it off of speed at least. When I'm just like backing out of my driveway to move my car over so like I can get a different car out, I don't need it to be like blaring in my face of like just ding 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 ding. Yeah, that's the definite hate about this car. Overall though, the car is really enjoyable. Do I recommend you buying this car? Absolutely, 100%. If you can, you know, swing it, if you can find one at MSRP or, you know, whatever within your budget, yes, I highly recommend it. Now, ow, what's that? I'm shaving. Would I recommend it over a Civic Type R? No, I don't. I would highly recommend a Civic Type R over this car. Why is that? It's just more practical all around. It's so much more spacious. It's just I've driven the new Type R, and the transmission is just so much smoother. It's just so buttery smooth. It's faster right off the box. Like I don't know. I don't care what people say. You know, this car is all-wheel drive, yada yada. The Type R is faster, without a doubt. The Type R is faster. So yeah, would I recommend this over Type R? No, I would definitely recommend it. This over a GTI, I don't know. I've never driven a GTI, so you guys are gonna have to tell me if that is worth it or not. But if this is what you want and you guys have been kind of hesitant on getting one, I know other people have had their like long-term review and they're probably more in-depth about it than me, because obviously they drive it as their daily driver. But I've had this car for 6 months now. I drive it on occasion. I've driven it a lot more the past month than I have the entire 6 months I've owned it. Obviously, if you guys can tell, this is mainly a track car. This is not my daily driver. This is my track car, and like it's just I try to keep the reviews and like the work to that, because like, you know, there are tons of people that'll do like daily driver stuff and go about their way, but for me, this is a track car and this is what it's going to be. So is it a fun track car? 100%. Is it an amazing track car out the box for like competitive driving? No, not really. But if you're looking for something to have fun with, that's very competent on track, as you just kind of want to have fun, you know, like cruise around, you don't have to worry about anything breaking, this is definitely a car to have, and I highly recommend it. So all right guys, thanks for making it to the end of this video. And just like last time, for everyone who made it to the end of this video, go ahead and comment Happy 4th of July. If you comment Happy 4th of July, I'll go ahead and pick one and send you a free sticker. I believe the person I picked last time for the alignment comment, they just received their sticker. They sent me a DM saying thank you very much. So glad you guys got your stickers. The first person, I think he messaged me. I haven't seen any confirmation, but I think he did tag me in a story. But anyway, guys, happy 4th of July. I hope you guys have a great holiday. And if you're watching this after 4th of July, I hope you had a great holiday. So until next time, guys, later.